Hello and welcome to Board Stupid. My name's Wayne.
And I'm Matt. And who is this?
Who is this?
What are you doing here?
Where
did you come from?
We got a quest.
You got a guest.
star. I am Rob. I am the marketing manager from Hachette Games UK. I have come on to the show with these lovely gentlemen who have invited me to show off a few of our upcoming titles. There's a few titles that are coming out over the rest of the year, and Nekojima, which has actually just come out.
Ooh.
So yes.
So this is gonna be really, really meaty or spicy or call it whatever you want, because here we got some amazing game, some of my next favorite games already.
Already guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And actually, Matt's most anticipated game of 2024.
So,
I won't point out which one it is, but it could be one of these games.
Could be
one of them.
Might well be.
And if you want to find out which game that is, you should probably
hit the subscribe button.
Absolutely, you should certainly hit the subscribe button to find out all about these amazing games. I mean, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, no, because otherwise you can't see
You just
it.
can't find out.
So
You
and
have
that
to
would be
stop the video
sad.
now if you haven't subscribed. Just stop.
Just
stop.
Yeah, all right. If you haven't subscribed,
That's
see
been
you
the
next
show.
time.
Thanks,
Ciao.
guys. See
Ciao.
ya.
Everyone else?
But you
Yes.
subscribe.
Yeah, let's go,
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
You're allowed.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's start immediately because this is gonna be nice.
Real nice. Let's go.
Rolling dice, feeling nice. Cardboard dreams and game schemes. Click subscribe, it's a vibe. Board Stupid's all we need. Board Stupid, game reviews for you and me. Board Stupid, here's what you should play and see.
Rob, what is this tremendous looking thing in front of us?
Still here.
Scary.
Behind the tower.
It's
Yes,
actually
yes,
scary.
This is Nekojima.
Uh-huh.
Nekojima is the Isle of Cats in Japan. It's a real
Yes,
place, but it's
it
known
is.
as the Isle of Cats. Why? There's lots of cats.
There's lots of cats on the
Lots of
island?
cats. Absolutely boatloads of cats.
Wow.
But it's a real place, and in the game, you are tasked with building an electricity network
Okay.
on Nekojima. Now, that electricity network is made out of pylons, which are called denshu in Japanese. So these are the denshu here. You can see the sort of nunchuck-like objects.
Yeah.
So
Can you actually?
well,
Yeah.
you could, I could get violent. I mean, I'll
When I was a kid,
it's all fun and games
do you
until
remember
someone
like
loses
in the
tonight.
90s when nunchucks were like super popular?
Yeah.
Did you have a pair of nunchucks? Did you ever have a pair of nunchucks?
What? Is it just a
Did
thing?
you-
No, I don't.
Did you
No,
ever
I don't think so.
in my school,
Parents
everyone
would
had
be
like,
like,
What do you mean? Everybody knows.
yeah, everyone had,
sport?
like, everyone had a pair of
What
nunchucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone had a pair of nunchucks.
Just to go with your katana.
It was like in the 90s, it was like everything was like the Karate Kid and nunchucks for some
Yeah,
reason.
the Karate Kid, yes, and nunchuck because of the Ninja Turtles.
Anyway, the Ninja
but-
Turtles, exactly, and Ninja Turtles.
But no, I did
You could
not own
I had
a
nunchuck.
I
pair
feel
of-
like-
You could never do nunchucks
Yeah.
without clocking yourself in the head, dude.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
and I tried, and it's probably expensive.
It's one of those things that looks a lot easier, and then you try
It's not
first
easy.
time and you pay.
And when you're like 9 years old,
What
Yeah,
are we even
not-
talking about?
Nunchucks. Nunchucks.
Anyway,
Segway.
nunchucks the game. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
Back into the game.
This is a game about nunchucks. No, it is not a game about nunchucks. Yes,
Denshu.
so we are building these denshu on the island of the cats on Nekojima. So this is a dexterity-based game, as you can probably see. This is not a big, heavy Euro game. Oh no. The lovely thing for starters, this can be played cooperatively or competitively.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
it's got that choice. My favorite way is actually cooperatively, trying to build this up together. And if you're playing cooperatively, you have this little level track here.
Sweet. Nice.
And you're trying to slot as many of these cubes into the level track. The higher you go, the higher your score
Okay.
as a team.
Okay.
Now, to choose the cubes, you take them out of this little cloth bag. Take one like that, and you roll the 2 dice. Whoa! And the dice are going to show you the 2 districts of the island that you must place the denshu.
So in this case, will be a white pylon on the
it.
green and the red. So it needs to go.
Boom! Exactly that.
Oh,
Exactly that.
gross.
So nice and intuitive.
Okay.
Once you complete that, you can slot that into the level track to work up towards higher and higher points. The one wrinkle to this, I am going to peek in the bag, which is against the rules, but I am just going to do that.
For demonstration
if you
purposes.
pull a black cube out of the bag, you must then continue pulling. If you pull another black cube, you got real problems. You keep going until you get one of the coloured ones. After you have placed your denshu of that colour, you would then place a cat.
Oh, wow.
Cats and electricity, let me tell you, they do not mix well. It can get pretty chaotic. And look at the size of some of these guys.
How did you? Okay.
He's a big old cat. So once you've done it, you must hang a cat onto your wires. Wow, I mean, that counts. Oh, pull that. That is probably, you've just witnessed the most, I've seen this being played at a lot of conventions. I've never seen that before.
Trick shots, mate.
Boom, it's happening. But yes, this is Nekojima. It's one of the lovely things about it is with the denshu, I think a lot of dexterity games, very wood-based, very card, sometimes you've got stacking games with cards like Rhino Hero. What's lovely about this is, you've got those solid components.
Nice.
But these little ropes, which are electricity wires, which for starters, Matt, you cannot touch. They're electricity wires. Why you touch live wires, dude?
Mad.
But the challenge is, what's weird is you can start to work out, there's a whole manipulation thing you can do with these to kind of, you can't touch them, but you can kind of, you see how
sort
I can
loop
kind of
them a little bit,
loop them a little bit to make spaces more tight or things like that. And there's a real talent to that, but takes a bit of work.
It takes a bit of work.
Wayne,
cool.
I think.
So I need to put one.
Okay.
I'm going to put
like this over here.
Green and blue, and a blue denshu. Can you do that for me?
So a blue denshu.
Yes.
And so over from here
Green
to here.
and blue.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I think.
Green and purple.
This
Sorry.
is not.
Oh, green and purple over this way.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes down.
Well, you can't touch the wire.
Not touch the wire. Okay.
Okay, this is not
We're
going
gonna
to
do
end
this.
up well.
I feel like this is not going to end up well because I'm reaching over the table. It's not.
That's it. So that's it. That's how you lose the game.
That's how you lose the game. Thank you for demonstrating. Didn't even get the cat on it. But that is Nekojima. What's also fun is there's a bunch of variants as you get more expert at the game, which we're obviously not there yet. Things like these lovely egg nests, these bird nests, which prevent you from stacking.
Oh, so you put it on the top of the pylons, I guess.
That's it. So there's 4 variants in the box with different ways you can play the game, and as I say, it also can be played cooperatively and competitively. It is a really nice dexterity.
That's really nice. The fact that you can play in both ways. I can see like being fun. And is it like what, a 15-20 minutes game?
That's it, yeah.
And
it's become my kind of warm up or my end of night game at the moment.
It sounds like this could be good competitors for what's the one that we love? Men at Work. Men at Work.
Ah, yes.
Ooh,
yeah.
I love Men at Work. This might be a good one for that. Lovely components, actually. Yeah. This is super fun, and that's Nekojima. Rob, so what have we got here? Talk to us about Castle Combo. What is it?
Castle Combo?
First step is you work out which part of the UK you're from, because it's either Castle or Castle.
Castle Combo.
Castle Combo or Castle Combo. Yes, so Castle Combo.
Castle Combo, I like
Oh, that. Yeah, go with that. Castle Combo.
Castillo Combo.
So this is Castle Combo, whichever way. This is a tableau building game. It is from a chap called Gregory Grard. That name ring any bells?
Yeah, didn't he do In the Footsteps of Darwin?
Boom.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
It. In the Footsteps of Darwin.
He's on fire.
He is on fire, and I think this game is going to prove that even further. This is a wonderful game. This is a tableau building game. The essence of it is you are building out a grid of 9 cards in a 3x3 fashion, and at the end, you're going to be scoring each of those cards. Now, this is a game that's quite similar to Far Away. If you guys have played Far Away, that is from Hachette Games as well, and distributed obviously by Hachette. Now, Far Away has a similar system of every card scores at the end. So one of the lovely things about this is you don't have to worry about that mid-game scoring and counting up your points. The score sheet, which I have just here, you can see you literally just go through these and score up.
Which you want last one?
The last one was won by me by 1 point.
Ooh.
Me by 1
By
point.
1 point.
Sorry,
Amazing.
Kylie. 79, 78.
Loser.
Loser. Bum, 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 bum. Always good to get
Insert
some
air horns here,
Yeah,
man.
it is, it is.
Listen, I've been
Yeah.
playing board games for a decade and a half or whatever it is now, and I am done with being a modest winner. Hubris, screw humility. I'm the winner, baby.
Matt was never a modest winner, let's be fair.
Well, you know what we do? We got in each board game, we write inside the cover our scoring every time we play.
That's it. You've got to tattoo that somewhere to your body. I've got a line somewhere. I won't show the people at home. It's a family-friendly show. I won't show them where, but
Family show.
I have all my scores tattooed to me. When I want, only when I want. So yes, you're building out a 3x3 grid of cards, and they are all going to score at the end, and they're going to trigger their scoring based on other cards in the grid. Hence the combo, the eponymous combo. Now, cool thing about this is you'll notice we have 2 rows of cards here. At any one time, you can only draft from one of those rows. You have the peasants at the bottom, and then you have this little messenger token here. Now, this will move between the rows based on various effects. Some of the cards are going to, when you buy that card, it's going to move the messenger up, and then you can buy from the nobles row. And likewise, there are cards in the nobles row which might push it down again. You also have a resource though, or 2 resources. You have money to buy the cards with, but you also have keys. Now, keys are the challenge of spending keys. They do 2 things in the game. If you spend a key, you can move the messenger on your turn. You can also spend a key to wipe a row as well.
To refresh the market.
Yes.
Okay.
But keys are also worth a point at the end of the game by default. And as you can imagine, there are also... In fact, there's one right here. There are some cards which give you effects for the more keys that you are holding.
I see.
So this is a really, really kind of brain-burning little game because you are picking up cards and adding them to and sometimes the positioning of the card matters for the scoring as well, which is really cool. I demoed this at Aircon just 2 weeks ago. I put this in front of Z Garcia of the Dice Tower. It was the last day. In fact, the last game we played of the whole show was Castle Combo. Halfway through, he said this was easily his game of the show.
Wow.
Big stuff.
Stole the demo copy. No, I gave it to him. Gave it to him to take home back to Florida.
That's cool.
But yes, that is. This is going to be a big game, and Gregory Garrard is going to be a big name. So there are more games that we have coming to Hachette with his name attached, and
Fantastic. Do you know what? I see a couple of those elements that are from In the Footsteps of Darwin. Weirdly enough, but expressed in a different way. Like you said about the positioning, and I remember some of the scoring conditions in Darwin where it will score you depending on the positioning of your tiles. So I get a little bit of that here as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, it seems super fun. I mean, this is completely unknown to me. I'll be honest with you. But then so was Course
2 of us. Yeah, exactly.
And then we played that and we loved it. And I can't wait to dig into this. So this seems like a really fun, interesting game.
really like it. I think it's going to be one of those puzzly game, I guess, that people really get that tip in.
Yep.
The artwork, I love the artwork, and I can't remember. I think I saw this artist before. I can't remember where. But it reminds me of something or someone. But I will find out. I'll dig it out.
Yeah.
So how long does it play in?
This plays in about 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
You can play this in quite a snappy fashion once you've got to grips with it. Now this is a step up from Footsteps of Diamond. I'm not saying this is a complex or difficult game to play, but there's a bit more of, we've got a reference card
Some
here.
symbology there.
Yeah, there's some symbology going on, and this is a game that I would say, first game or two, you will be having just a quick check here and there to remind yourself of what cards do. The symbology overall is very, 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 very good in the game, but it's one of those things where once you've got this down, it's a little bit like that. You know, sometimes these card games you can really knock out in 20 minutes. They can be very, very snappy and fast. Great coffee break game or lunch break game.
Love it. Coffee game. Excellent.
Coffee game.
And when is Castle Combo out? Is it out yet?
Castle Combo is also coming out in about a month's time.
Oh, it's a lot of stuff coming out in about
That's it.
one time.
Exciting stuff.
All right, let's talk about In the Footsteps of Marie Curie.
Rob, talk about this game. I mean, this is a follow-up, right, to the incredibly successful In the Footsteps of Darwin. So is this, what is it? Is this an evolution? Is this a completely different game? Is it the same team? What do you know?
How is going to make up for a game that came as a runner-up as a game of the year this year?
Right?
Yes,
That's a big footsteps to fill.
Hey, I see what you did.
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
I might edit this one out.
Oh dear. Yes, here is In the Footsteps of Marie Curie. As you guys said, it's the follow-up to Darwin. Darwin did very, very well. Continues to do well after that nomination, but this is a completely different game. When you ask about same team, there is some crossover. It's a different designer. The art style, as you can probably see, is the same artist. Gorgeous watercolor style art.
Which I love.
But the game is very, very different, and yet retains a lot of that feel of being a sort of family weight, yet would still be, if you're a gamer, you can pick this up and still have a great time with it. So that's what's lovely. But you are playing through the life of Marie Curie in this game. There is a track on the board which takes us through each of the major stages of her life, right through and to her death, in fact. So. But the game centers around, rather than Darwin, which is very much about drafting, this is a game that centers around, do you know what? Don't even need to say it. Let's just show it off.
Yeah.
A cube tower.
I love a cube tower.
A cube tower.
I don't think we have enough cube towers in life nowadays.
In life,
it?
yes. More cube towers.
More cube towers is always a good thing. So the game is going to see you put cubes into the cube tower depending on the round, which is dictated here. As this goes through, we're going to put different kinds of cubes, which represent different kinds of materials that Marie Curie used in her laboratory. So we've got pitchblende, we've got radium, we've got uranium, and the game actually functions in a way where you can choose, in your turn, you can pick up some of these cubes, put them onto one of your player boards, and then do various things with them. One of those things that you can do is you can take cards from here, which cost you some of the cubes, and they will then slot in under your player board. And there are 5 different. You can see at the bottom of here. There are 5 different areas that you can slot cards. And this is a game where the more cards you slot under one of those areas, the more juicy the bonuses and the rewards are going to be.
So you kind of want to stack them.
Yes, it's very much a choice of, it's a tricky little choice of, do I go for breadth and get a little bit of cool different things on multiple areas, or do I go heavy on a couple of things to get a massive bonuses? That's it, So that's one of the things you can do with the cubes. You can also, part of what you're going to be doing is getting these beakers. Now, these have different names that are mentioned in the rulebook. They're not just beakers. In fact, one is a beaker. And interesting fact, a beaker comes from the German word Becher, which is the designer of the beaker. So
is that fair enough?
That's a real thing.
I didn't know that.
I learned that from, side note.
You learned it on Board Stupid.
On Board Stupid. These, so the rule book itself is here. Very easy to comprehend, very easy to understand, and nice and accessible. The other lovely thing, as people who've played In the Footsteps of Darwin will know,
yes,
amazing,
appendix, with all kinds of facts about Marie Curie's life.
And I love that about In the Footsteps.
That was one of the things that make us say that game was great, because it's a family plus game. You want to, if you playing with children, with kids, you want to have that a little bit of learning as well, because it's definitely a good thing for everyone.
Absolutely.
That's it. And this has got that in spades, her life, but also like things about radioactivity. There is a piece here on how to determine the age of a fossil. If you didn't know how to do that, you could probably find it on YouTube. But play this game.
So you can have fun and then have fun learning
and then learn something.
Yes, that's it. So you can pick up these different kinds of beakers here, and they will also enable you to spend the cubes that you are getting, the uranium, the radium, and the pitchblende, to get various rewards. But these also act as power-ups. So one of the problems with the game, or one of the problems you have when you're playing the game, is you can only hoard a certain number of cubes and then you have to discard down. So you need to use them wisely. But one of those upgrades, for example, the more of your forget which ones are beakers and which ones are the other kind.
Flask of some sort. I don't know.
What the flask is that?
What the flask is that?
Just making up things now,
Yes.
right?
So
It looks like a bottle. That's a bottle.
a bottle. It's got a proper name. We'll roll with a bottle. So these will allow you to take more cubes from the cube tower and also keep hoard more as well. So
Nice. So you're like upgrading your player board as well, right? So always
Yes.
trying to get more bonuses, more
That's it.
stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It's got a somewhat similar system with Darwin, where you've got these theses you can collect.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And they are going to just come onto your board and give you one-time bonuses. And these, as you work up through these different theses, as you can imagine, you go from a basic one here that is just going to give you a single black cube, all the way up to some of the ones in level 4 that are going to give you points and things like that. So progressing through these is also another thing you can do. So the main difference in feel, I would say, is that this is a much, much tighter game when it comes to points.
Okay.
Darwin, if you got it going, I think everyone ends up having a tableau that spits out a nice amount of points. But
Yeah.
in this, each point you earn, you really feel like you've earned it. So you have to work towards each one. Typically, it's going to take you a fair few turns just to get a single point. But it means the end game scoring, somewhere around 10 points tends to be a winning score. So you're really
that sounds like one of those styled games.
I'll be honest, I love that as design principles, man, because it makes you like
It makes you feel more empowered.
The tenseness of each point. You're like, that's really important. I mean, if you can get 2 points in a turn, you're like,
and it keeps the games more interesting even for the people behind, because you know
like,
that
you're never that far
you're gonna
away.
get like 1 or 2 points, so you might be winning by 2 points, not certain games where you're like, oh, I'm 45 points behind, I might have lost the game already.
Yes.
So
That's it.
great.
The disparity in points tends to be somewhere around, I think in the last time I played it was the losing player, the person in 4th place had 7 points, the winning player had 10. So it's very tight. I think there is also, I mean, just as an example of some of the tactical interactive play, one of the upgrades you can get is this Marie Curie figure itself. When you have this, you have a simple trade that you can do, which is 2 of these silver cubes into a single victory point. So having this in front of you is great, but it can be stolen. So much tighter. You have starting objectives as well, which are going to give you things to work towards, things to give you at least one of those points that you need. But yes, that is in the footsteps of Marie Curie.
But we're still talking about a family plus game, so even like very different rules, or very different from Footstep or Darwin, is still a game that you can enjoy with a wider audience, right?
That's it.
So it's a slight step up in complexity, but still within the realms of the beginner game sphere.
Very much so. I think this is very much family friendly, and as I say, the appendix alludes to that. You know, you can play this with kids and educate kids as you go. I think what this has, Darwin has that interesting tactical play of the drafting, but there is something about taking a fistful of these cubes, chucking them into this tower,
and see what
hoping the
pops
right
out.
things you come out,
Yes,
and then grabbing them.
please,
It leads to moments around the table where everyone goes, "Wow!" when all the good stuff falls to the bottom.
That's great.
And players are able to hoover up the bits they need. So yeah, it has a little bit of that going on.
Fantastic. And when is this out, Rob?
This is out next month.
Oh, so we're talking about September 2024. So if you're watching it in the future, going back in time,
It's
on
probably
your
out already,
DeLorean,
and if it's in like 10 years, it might be out of print, but don't blame us.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
That's
You should
your
have
fault,
watched it at the time.
Kind of our fault.
You should have subscribed.
Wait.
Wait.
I'll tell you this. If in 10 years, if you're watching this and it's 2034,
Comment below.
and I'll
If
come
YouTube
I'll
still
come and
exists.
find you. I'll come and find you and just give you a big hug.
Yeah.
Doc, I'm from the future.
There you go. I hope I'm still alive. That's all
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. So we're very much looking forward to this, Rob. Let's dive in to the next
one. Okay, now I'm really excited because this is on my #1 list of the most anticipated game from this year. It's a game that I can't wait to have. I'm so glad that it's at the moment on my table, but it's not gonna be on my table forever. But in just a few months, probably we can
Yes.
start playing Cyclades Legendary Edition.
Yes,
Rob,
that's
go.
right. Yeah,
Go.
we should have this by around December this year. Cyclades Legendary Edition. This is the about 15 years on from the original Cyclades, which is a real area control classic. This is the new reworked version. It blends in some of the expansion content. There were 2 expansions for Cyclades. Bruno Catala and Ludovic Leblanc have come back together to create what they're describing as their director's cut of Cyclades.
Love that.
So we're not talking about a reprint. We're talking about an evolution of the original game by the same designer that made the original game. So it's not
Exactly.
just a reprint for the sake of a reprint.
That's it, yeah. And this isn't even, I wouldn't describe this necessarily as a second edition or anything like that. This really is a 2.0 version. This is taking the best of and smashing it all together, taking the best bits of the expansions and adding a few things that are real quality of life improvements. So for starters, I'll talk through some of what the game is about, but for starters, those who know Cyclades will be seeing, hey, we have a modular map now.
This is already huge. I mean, that's already a massive change. Like I say, we've gone from a static map to a modular map.
This is
it's tremendous.
I've played a couple of games of this in the last week, and just the map setup alone changes things so
much, isn't it? Yeah.
Had one game where it was a big giant island with a few sprinklings of islands around the edge. I've had another game just a couple of days ago that was a real archipelago, a mixture of stuff, a mixture of little islands, constant sea warfare happening. But the essence of the game, for those who don't know, it's a war game. It is an area control game. You are scrapping over land. Your goal in the game, it isn't a victory point space game. Instead, your goal is to capture these metropolises. Now, these are going to slowly get built up as the game progresses. The moment you manage to hold 3 of them and progress through the end of a round without anyone taking you down, you win the game like that. So that is the idea. This is a real scrappy game, a tug of war.
But it's not that easy as it sounds like, isn't it?
It's not that easy. No, not at all. Not at all. And you're going to be, at the start, there's no buildings at all. So you need to start building up to create these metropolises. What makes this game so interesting is that this isn't a game where, like with other area control games, sometimes you will just have, here's your 4 actions. You can move, you can battle, you can do whatever, you can put out troops. In this is a game set in ancient Greece, but specifically with all the Greek mythology blended into it. So what we have are various gods from ancient Greece, including, flipped over at the moment, is Zeus, but there'll always be a god or 2 who are face down. But the idea of this is that to do the things you need to do, to put out the troops you need, to go to war, to fight, to put out ships, to do whatever, you need to earn the favor of a god. How do you do that? Well, gods.
Sweet cash, mate.
Sweet
Just
cash.
Pay the gods.
Ching, ching, ching,
Yeah, exactly.
Make it rain. You know the drill. But this is a bidding game. So this is a war game, an area control game, but with a massive bidding element to it. So the idea is each round you are going to be bidding for the powers of the gods. If you are ever outbid, you must move to a different god and bid elsewhere.
And I love
So
that
you
sort
might
of-
have beat someone else,
that sort of bouncing bidding system is great. I love that. I mean, I've seen that in games like Pan Am, but this is taking that to the nth degree, obviously.
That's
so,
it.
it's fantastic. I love that system.
And because, so we've set up for a 3-player game here, which means that 3 of the gods would actually be out of play, which means that there are 2 gods, and there is always the space of Apollo. Now, what Apollo does is brings about... Sorry, you're going to say...
I remember the teach when we had this from Kylie at UK Games Expo. She was like, Apollo's always there for you.
Always there.
Apollo will always love you.
But he's a fake god.
Yeah, when no one else loves you, you'll always have Apollo. I'm like, I don't want Apollo. There's like sometimes you've got to have Apollo.
You have to have Apollo on occasion, and so that is the challenge. And what Apollo is going to do, however, is going to make the land richer. So there's an income phase in the game. Each of these cornucopia symbols you control that are on the board are going to spit out money for you at the start. So the more of those you control, the richer you're going to get, and the more you can spend on the various gods that are going to give you powers. But Apollo is going to make the land richer. However, of course, through warfare, those can be stolen from you as well. Nothing is safe. But to come to your aid, you also have a selection of ancient Greek heroes who are going to give you various powers They're going to join your armies and give you kind of things like extra dice rolls in combat. One of my favorite is there's a movement system in the game where you can leap across to different islands, providing you have ships connecting you to those islands. One of my favorite heroes, Jason of the Argonauts fame, lets any army that he is with jump using anyone's ships. He doesn't care whose ships. So he can go and just hops around through anyone's ships.
That's amazing.
The ships are no longer loyal while he's with you. Similarly, we have creatures who will also come out to play. Now, these are very, very powerful one-time effects that will come in. So we have, for example, the Kraken. The Kraken plops straight onto the board and destroys all ships in the space that they enter. So there's a variety of heroes and creatures that keep things spicy, that keep you on your toes, and constantly working towards that end game condition. The game is coming out in December, as I say, but it will have this. This is the standard edition. This is going to retail for around £60. The amount of value in this box is phenomenal.
It's worth way more than that. Way more. The modular stuff, this big boards, all the cards, all the meeples that are actually like each one is individual. For each faction, you got an individual model for the for the meeple. It's a lot. It looks amazing. Yeah. And on top of that, you can get
the miniature edition for yes, there is also the shiny edition. So it'll be an extra add-on box, which is nice. So you will get this. It's the core box. And if you want to upgrade to miniatures, to the shiny,
some minis.
And that will be miniatures for heroes, miniatures for the creatures, and you can also get miniatures for the soldiers as well. So you can add all that in, and you can just pick and choose. If you want all the fancy miniature upgrades, they're there. But if you're after just all the gameplay experiences in the core box.
And we should say that as well, for whether you guys back these on Kickstarter, as well, we're talking about November or end of November, beginning of December, definitely before Christmas. You can definitely enjoy this before Christmas. Everybody can enjoy this before Christmas.
Matt will be enjoying this.
I'm definitely going to enjoy this. I just want to point out one thing about the bidding system. Now, depending on how many players you play with, you will have available more or less God. But the very interesting, the things that I like is that once you finish your turn, this board is going to rotate. That means that the God that is at the bottom will become available at the top.
For the next round, right? Yeah.
And the last one is gonna go.
That's it. Yeah.
So that means that you always need to think what you're gonna do on the board a couple of turns before.
That's it.
You're gonna need to be ready to do battle when Mars is gonna be there, because Mars is not there, ain't no battle. So all your soldiers are just gonna be there and just gonna be like one, two,
hang around, a good old time, mate.
That's
it. For nothing.
That's it.
So there is a lot of thinking,
right?
and there is a lot of strategy, and what the monster, the heroes, gives you on top of that is that unpredictability of what's gonna happen, who's gonna get that monster, where is gonna place that monster, and I love this game.
It's so exciting, and you can probably see on the shot. I mean, it's quite a looker as well.
Absolutely.
I love the colouring of it as well. It's great. It's an epic,
gorgeous looking game as well.
Absolutely epic.
Absolutely. And I think what's also cool is the heroes that we've mentioned who will come out and join your armies. Have discard power, so you can actually trash a hero for a one-time superpower, as it were. So as your armies start to build up and you start to get perhaps a tableau, you never really get a big tableau, but you might have 2 or 3 heroes towards the end of the game under your control, and they'll have discard effects that maybe have one-time things where it's like chucking out a metropolis for fewer resources effectively, or things like that, which means that some of those sideline moments can really happen, and you just have to be on each other's toes. It has that lovely thing, because that end condition, it's not victory point based. It has that lovely thing where you'll see that one player has secured the god they need to maneuver into a position where they'll get their 3 metropolises that they need to win the game. and then it becomes an argument with the other players suddenly ganging
Who's gonna
up.
stop it? Yeah.
I can't, it might be one player's like, I can maybe outbid them.
Yeah.
I've got just enough money, but if they then outbid me again, I can't do anything. You guys are going to need to stop them. So it's a wonderful sort of tight thing of wrestling over these spaces.
So how can you checkmate the other player, other players at the table to guarantee your victory?
Yeah.
It has that flavour of Inish in it, right? Where you look at the rule of 6, I think, in Inish or whatever.
Yes.
So you're trying. You need those 3 things. And you have to control them until the end. But everyone knows that.
Yeah, everyone can see it, and if you keep a keen eye on the board, then you can see it happening.
You can see it coming.
But it's just very, very it's a very dynamic game.
It's a cool game.
And yes, it's rich in that flavour of ancient Greece. For people who've played the original and know it, then this really is a massive upgrade as well because of things like the modular tiles. There's more heroes, and just having some of the very best bits of the expansion content blended in. It's a much more dynamic experience as well in terms of movement around the board. I won't go into the details, but there's more ways for troops to be moving around, which means that fights are more common. The original Cyclades became a little bit more of a positioning puzzle, I think, for a lot of people, and this really opens up that dynamism for movement. So you always have to be watching your borders, and fights are going to be happening regularly. So this is.
I can't wait for this. You already know this is my top. This is my top one for this year. Waiting for to play it. And I think this is gonna be in the future. It's gonna be one of those like genre defining games because there's gonna be a lot of other games that are gonna try to do what this game actually will do.
Yes, it's an amazing thing to see. As I say, this came out. The original Cyclades was 2008, I think it was.
Dang.
And to have everyone who has tried the demos or the preview copies of this have come away saying exactly that. It's like it's taken its own mantle and run with it, and it's become a really seminal experience for the future, I think.
Fantastic stuff. That was we saved the best for last, potentially.
Yeah,
I know, but they're all some amazing games. Rob, let's take it to the outro. Wow. Rob, what an amazing journey you've just taken us on. And I'm tired and you were doing most of the talking.
Thank you so much. Because it's been amazing. And each one of these games has been absolutely fantastic to know more about it. And
so different as well. I mean, Hachette's library of games is wildly broad at this point, right?
That's it. We've got a nice, lighter family weight game.
Plus.
We've got a neat little card game. We have a dexterity game and
beast.
Got the
beast.
Heavyweight.
A big heavyweight.
game.
Absolutely. Matt, which one was your favourite of this?
Well, you know what?
If you can guess.
If you follow the channels, I mean, I've been speaking about Cyclades for so long at this point that I would say that Castle Combo is the one that is actually rubbing that itch.
But I'll be honest though.
I mean,
and also,
in the footsteps of Marie Curie, like you guys know that we really loved In the Footsteps of Darwin, and this is the second iteration, not of the same game, but
it's a new game in the series.
A continuation of the series, and this looks amazing. And this looks like it's gonna get a lot of play during our little party or game nights.
Absolutely.
So.
It's a tough choice, right?
A lot of stuff.
Looking at
There's
it,
a lot of
all
stuff.
All four are my favourite. All four.
I'll take them. I mean, Cyclades is not leaving the house.
Rob's got his Hachette Games hat on. We'll take the Hachette Games hat off after the camera ends, and he'll tell us his favourite. They're all my favourite. Which one's my favourite child?
I love you all, my children.
Absolutely. But if you liked this video, you know what to do. Please leave us a comment below with the one that you're most excited about. Have you played any of these games yet? Did you get a chance to play Castle Combo at Aircon? Please do let us know. Give us your thoughts and opinions and review of these fantastic looking games. And other than that, you do need to check out the rest of our content. And of course, Matt, they need to
hit the subscribe button.
Hit the big red button.
Come on.
It makes everybody happy, and it will make you happy. I promise.
Definitely make us.
It makes me
happy.
It does. Absolutely.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed to make me happy. Absolutely.
Look at that smile.
Yeah, I'm already happy. At the thought of it. Thanks for watching.
Any more of that? There you go.
Who doesn't? We'll catch you again real soon. Rob, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you for having me. It's been a joy.
Ciao.
to be.